Hey everyone, Dr. Jamie Phillips here. For those that don't know me, I'm a doctor of physical therapist. I'm a former professional goalie and also goalie coach. So I wanted to take this time and I want to go over Henrik Lundqvist analysis of the RVH and kind of what to do and what not to do on bad angle situations that he had on TNT. I know I'm a little late to the party. It was a busy week. And I know that, a lot of people it's blasphemous to speak out against the king, and I get that. But I thought there was a lot of things in there that were really valuable, but there was also a few things that I disagreed with. So I'm going to let the video play, and then every time there's something that I disagree with, I'm going to pop in. And what I'm going to do, too, is I'm going to offer, my opinion and offer somewhat of a solution. And I think that that's what gets lost a lot of times in the RVH post-play discourse is RVH bad. Here are all the goals that are given up through the RVH. Well, the RVH, I'll get into it differently, but most of the time it's like old man yelling at clouds. There's no solution given. It's just either the RVH is good or the RVH is bad, and there's no in between. And so I'm going to also give some teaching points, some clips, kind of like things for you goalies to take that are kind of my guidelines for, especially off the rush, what's going to help you make a better decision into that play and on the post. So let's begin.
And what do we notice top corner there?
Well, it's exposed, obviously. But listen, RVH, it's very effective when you...
All right, so first thing, this is just an arbitrary picture. And this also isn't representing the puck's view. So when we look at the puck's view and what the puck sees, it's going to be a lot less net. Remember, that puck has to come up at an upward angle. Yes and no. Remember, this is just an arbitrary picture, and what the puck sees is going to be different than what the camera sees and what the shooter sees. Now, just remember that the puck has to come up. This is just make-believe. Puck has to come up. And so if you put this camera along the ice, you're going to see like very little net. So let's just be clear about that first and foremost.
In the right time. So in close, plays around the net, absolutely yes. But when the puck is further away, it changes the angle of the shot. And that's where players can actually make that shot because...
So yes and no. So the RVH is a great tool for in tight and behind the net for sure. And I agree that when the puck is further away, oftentimes the RVH isn't the best thing because that angle does change a little bit. Meaning that it's very difficult for a shooter, I think Hank talks about it, to get that puck up and tight from here versus to take a shot at this angle and go short side high. But when
goalies are down and leave this part exposed. So for a goalie, when you come down the wing...
Few things. So we can often eliminate a lot of that short side by going toe lock. When we go toe lock, it keeps our body about 4 inches closer to the post. And remember, if we think about just like basic, I guess like basic or just like vectors in terms of physics and geometry, if we are 4 inches horizontally, is 4 inches that we can no longer use to take away height up top. So, and for the most part, there will be almost always some small sliver of short side high. Now, is that possible to be eliminated with certain things like leaning the head? Yes. But usually you don't lean in with the head. That's more of a reactionary play.
Looking, what's going on in the middle? And from there, I make a decision. How much am I going to challenge you? If I have a drive in the middle, I'm going to sit back a little bit because you are not really the threat here. I should stop you 10 out of 10.
Agree partially. So yes, depth is going to be contingent on what's happening. If there's a guy driving backdoor, you have to be a little bit more aggressive so you can come across. If there's a guy driving the middle, you have to be a little aggressive so you can come here. And if there's no one driving, then you can be more aggressive to the point where you're completely taking the shot and you're not giving up the opportunity for the player to come around the nets or step through the slot. Now, this guy, Henrik, I don't know, we're on the first name basis by any means, but he's saying that Biz here isn't dangerous. And I would disagree. That player is very dangerous. He's less dangerous on the angle than he is if he's walking down the middle. Absolutely, because when the puck's in the middle, the net is 6x4. When that puck is off to the side or closer to the goal line, that net becomes smaller. The goalie has more advantage. But any shot in here is already like super dangerous.
What we saw yesterday, right? And then when it comes down to the side, if there's no one down, yes, you can overlap the post if you want to be really square. But a lot of times you want to be in here.
Yeah, this is where things kind of get a little murky. So if we look at the goal that Skinner gave up, and I'm going to play it right here. What went wrong ultimately was he went in the RVH too early with the puck too far away and with there not being many backdoor options. And that's where things went wrong. So the RVH itself is a great save selection. It's the timing of it that gets misused, and that's why there's so many RVH goals or bad RVH goals. You know, the butterfly is a great save selection for covering the 5-hole, yet there's still a ton of 5-hole save goals that go in. So should we get rid of the butterfly? No, it's about timing and save selection. Now, as that puck gets closer, if there is no one driving, this is where I would wager that you just hold your overlap. Because remember, as soon as you get into the post here, like Henrik or Lundqvist is saying, you are now limited in your ability to move. Meaning this post is a wall. So just try, if you're a goalie watching, just try doing a butterfly with your foot against the wall. What's going to happen? It's going to push you this way. So it's actually going to push you away from the short side. Now, he's going to go in and explain that the VH is a good option. And I agree. The VH is a possible option. Not saying it's the best, not saying it's the worst, but to come here and then his next explanation is where things for me kind of go off the rails in terms of the style of goaltending, the speed of the play of today's NHL, and even today's, like, you know, lower levels, maybe like junior hockey, high level AAA hockey, where play happens fast.
Here to be able to come out in the middle, because that's really where the dangerous area is. If you shoot, I would love to see goalies, and this was how...
The danger is always going to be where the puck is, unless that puck is in a truly non-dangerous place, like behind the goal line. The puck probably not going to beat you from behind the net. Can someone shoot in the beach of mirror? Yes. That puck is very dangerous. That puck's really close to the net, so remember that. That puck is still really dangerous. It gets more dangerous when there are people out here, but right now it's still dangerous on its own.
We used to do it. You wait for it, you give the 5-hole, and then one leg down, like that. And then you just explode down and you get back up. If you get in closer and you use their RVH.
So this is where, for me, like, I love the VH. I think it's a great save selection. I wish it didn't go as much out of style, but there's a reason that it did. Now, unfortunately, the days of, and I'm just talking at like an NHL level. And again, like, if you've never been on the ice with NHL players, it's very hard to like comprehend how fast it is, because it is like, it's mind-blowingly fast. And even like for me, when I made that jump from Division 1 to like my first NHL training camp, like, it's crazy how much difference there is in the speed and the decision making and the shot accuracy. You can't bait players anymore. That's the problem. If we are actively baiting players, we're trying to influence the game, influence the play in a way where we don't actually have the upper hand. Like, the puck is in control. The player with the puck is in control. Now, we can bait them and say, like, hey, shoot 5-hole, but they don't have to shoot 5-hole. And if we're baiting them, that means we're no longer having a hard focus on that puck. We have a soft focus on that puck, which distracts us from our ability to make that save and adjust to any passes or reading the option. And that's where kind of things get murky. But I don't disagree that the VH isn't a bad option here, but the VH isn't perfect. And, you know, if we go back and we see Henrik down here, that area is still there. And it's the same amount of area that's there in the RVH. Now, on the glove side, oftentimes that glove can eliminate this because it's going to be resting on top of the pad. But that's still the same amount of area.
And then you just explode down and you get back up.
But the play happens too quick to big people. That's why goalies today have kind of like a set area, or they make that read in terms of when is it okay to hit the RVH because I'm eliminating the most amount of net. I'm also setting myself up in a position to use that post to push into and make a save.
Then the angle of the puck changes so much, so it's a lot harder for guys to make that shot from here to find their when the goalie's covering this part. But from that distance, what we saw yesterday, and we see it a lot now, where goalies stay down and the puck keeps going out to the corner and they sit down, stand up.
Agreed. When that puck is going from below the goal line, especially along the wall, and coming here, that net is getting larger and larger and larger. We have to have that ability to move. So just chilling in the RVH isn't super beneficial. If you are someone like Vasilevsky or any of these very, very tall, incredibly athletic, incredibly flexible goalies, you can get away with those things. But for even the average NHL goalie and for everyone else who's not those goalies, we often can't get away with that.
I would love to see goalies stand up more in that area.
Can we have the camera kind of come in to see that exact angle in which he's talking about? So you said oftentimes you used to love to bait the guy by maybe showing him fine.
Yeah,
that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. That's not that. It's just, that's hard for me to get behind because of how fast the play is and because of how limited we are in our actual motion, our ability to make a save, with the post there.
Give it and take it away. Give it, you stand here and then you wait and then you just cover it.
It's not as much giving it and taking it away. It's about being in the right spot and being able to react to either the shot or the pass. But you're in a position where you can do both, where you're covering the maximal amount of net while also giving yourself an opportunity to move into the shot.
Because it allows you to stay in control and then you can explode out. If you sit down, it's going to make it a lot harder to get out here and get ready.
Yeah, yes and no. So the reason the VH died out was because you are way more mobile being able to drive off that post from the RVH. You're covering almost the same amount of net, but now you have an increased mobility. And that's why the RVH really took over. So I made many videos about this, and you can go back and search through my channels to be able to, Instagram, YouTube, to be able to see all my explanations. But I'll break it down again as simple as I can. When the puck is in the middle of the ice, the net is 6x4. It's at its largest. When the puck gets closer to the goal line, the far side closes down, the short side closes up. Now, when that puck's further away, that shooter has more of an opportunity to angle that puck up into that short side. Now, when that puck gets tight, now I like to use what I call the golden triangle, which is the area from the bottom of the circle to the goal line to the net. It makes that triangle. That's my kind of guideline. When the puck gets within this area, the only side of the net that's really available is the short side. So what's going to eliminate the short side? The RVH or the VH or the overlap. Those all work. But, so when do you know which one to use? Well, if it's a goal line drive, typically RVH is going to be perfect because it allows you to seal the short side and then have some mobility to push across here. Now, when it's a rush play, and this is usually where things go off the rails, I don't see as much confusion. From goalies on like a goal line attack versus a rush play. So how I break it up is if there is a player, so the puck's going to be coming down the wing, and they're going to be attacking the net. Let's just say they get into that golden triangle. If there is no one here, or here, then the overlap is going to be probably the best save option because it allows you to cover the most amount of net, as well as long as you have some backwards momentum, be able to drive across if they drive, come across for a wraparound, and make a nice, easy save. If there is a player driving on the short side of the middle, so driving down here, overlap is still probably the best option because it allows you to have a little subtle push to make that save, as well as respecting this guy driving the middle, because this isn't a great pass to go from here. They don't have a strong option, and typically there's going to be a D-man driving here, putting them under pressure. Okay. If there is a player driving the middle or within this range, within this triangle, then I say either the VH or overlap is a good choice, because the VH will allow you to make this save but also be able to push more forward because of how awkward it is and how much you have to rotate from that position. You're able to push more towards the middle versus pushing backdoor. And then that leaves us, if there's a player driving here, then the RVH becomes the best option, in my opinion, because an overlap, there's too much rotation for you to push backdoor. A VH, same thing goes. It's too awkward to slide across, and typically you won't be able to extend on this side. You wouldn't be able to extend your glove leg far enough. So RVH allows you to eliminate the short side, as well as push across if they drive the middle, and push backdoor to make that save. So that's where a lot of goalies mess up, is their timing and their decision-making when to use the RVH. Now, a player is just driving here, just hold your feet. Hold your feet. If they drive above the dot, boom, hold your feet. I watch a lot of hockey, and I see a lot of goalies hit RVHs as soon as the players come here, and then they get beat. And it's not because it's a good shot or anything like that, or the RVH itself is bad. It's because goalies are using it at the wrong time. So, to make a long story short, it's not about the save. It's about when you're using it. The RVH is a great tool when used properly. So thanks everyone for watching. I know it was a little long-winded. If you like this, I do daily breakdowns of NHL goals every single day. My Patreon, like, comment, subscribe. Go to my Instagram. Everything's in the bio. And I'll see everyone next time.